Dude.
And we're live. Well, we're not live, but we're recording. What did you want to talk about today on this episode of the Fungal Lizard podcast, my dear co-host?
You haven't gone to bed yet, and you're trying to convince me to eat frogs, so I think this is a PSA to anyone out there that I need help. SOS. Go to bed.
I gotta bring home the good bacon. The good swamp bacon.
Ugh. Belle is going to trek out to the wilderness nearby on a trail and look for forageable edible things because we don't have ingredients.
It's the dead of winter. And I really want to cook, so I'm gonna find like bark from white pines and birch, because that's what you eat in winter. If you crack ice, turtles and frogs like to live under there sometimes. If it's a low water place, it's illegal in Wisconsin, but you can also just look for mussels and clams. A lot of the ones in Wisconsin are endangered or whatnot.
Don't take the endangered clams.
I don't know what clams are endangered.
The zebra mussel. No, they're the
The
ones that are
zebra
invasive.
mussels are invasive, but there's not a lot of meat on them, so you can't really eat them.
I think it's like any other clam that's not zebra mussels because there's so few of them.
Well, it's all mussels, but like, for some reason in Wisconsin, it's just straight up illegal. You can't do it at all. I think it's because Wisconsin waters are so dirty that they need all the filters they can get, because, let's face it, despite being a so-called place of the wilderness, people are garbage.
There's also cheese factories that probably waste into the rivers.
I don't think the cheese factories are the cause of all of Wisconsin's problems.
I know they just fix all of them.
They're the one good thing we've got going on. Don't bring them into this.
How fucking dare you insult the Packers on this day of Christ?
Nobody fucking actually cares about the Packers.
I mean, as far as teams go, I care about them.
Victoria, you care about the Packers?
Like, to the extent of, like, if I had to pick a team, it would be the Packers.
The only sports team I care about is the Mariners. That's a baseball team.
My dad likes the Chicago Bears.
Your dad's I don't care about your dad. I don't care about sports.
We're gonna become a sports podcast, kids. Now, today we'll be talking about the hit new game called,
Sports ball.
Yeah, where you shove your roommate into the snow.
Yeah, I kind of bent the rules a little bit. I didn't shove my roommate into the snow, but I did shove a dear friend. They responded by shoving me back into the snow. It was awful because I was wearing sandals and my feet went numb. Don't wear sandals in winter.
But you do it every day.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do to survive in these trying times.
What were we gonna talk about today? Were we gonna talk about the failure of humanity?
We're gonna talk about how Victoria's struggling to type in this URL.
We're gonna talk about how much I fucking hate Tolkien elves since I've only gotten 4 hours of sleep.
Oh yeah. Why do you hate Tolkien elves, Victoria?
Because the ears are not big. They're just crusty little ends. Okay, listen.
Crusty little ends?
Okay,
You could describe anything with that. Like, why aren't you eating the bottom half of those pizza rolls? Oh, well, it's just the crusty little ends. Why are all these orphans sad? Because they're just the crusty little ends.
Of society, and they're drained society.
That's the best description of anything I've ever heard ever, because it can be used for everything.
Okay, listen. Listen.
Don't look at Tumblr when we're trying to record.
You're on Facebook,
I'm not looking at it.
You dumb fuck.
I'm not looking at it. It's just open.
Okay. I hate Tolkien elf ears for one reason specifically. Historically, elves are always that one species that are, like, very close to humans, except better and more advanced. But they're treated as a separate species always. And they're always touted as being super close looking like humans. 1, that's boring. 2, if the only defining feature that physically defines two different species from each other is their ears, then why not go all out? Like, why not be actually cool and try something different? Like, World of Warcraft had it right with giving their elves like prehensile eyebrows and like ears that were the size of my foot. But like Tolkien elf ears are just boring. They don't even look like there's nothing. What are they? They're boring. Like, I hate it. Dragon Age 2 had a good thing where the ears were not as big as I would like, but they were bigger, and then their facial structures were generally different, where they had, like, their nose bridge would connect. However, any of my followers on this illustrious podcast who've ever played a Dragon Age game will know that the design of the elves changes game to game, because why not? Also, their history changes from game to game. Ooh, isn't it edgy? Isn't it sidebar? Isn't it edgy how like in Dragon Age Inquisition the magical elves are kicked out of the clan to add angst and make it seem like the elves suck, when in reality in the past two games they were considered crucial because elven magic was so little. GG BioWare, fuck my asshole.
Okay, Victoria, since you like elves with big ears, I want you to consider the following: Dumbo-sized ears on every elf.
So, like, so like an elephant.
Yeah, like elephant-sized ears, but they're pointy.
So they're proportional. If an elf was the size of an elephant, they would be proportional.
No, they would just be elephant-sized ears. They could fly with them.
Um,
Would you go for that? You've always said you wanted bigger ears.
I don't listen.
Go big or go home. Would you go for it?
If the elf had a nice personality, I'd ask them to take me out on a little flying date as they flap across the
No,
sky.
I need a yes or no. Are you in on this or are you not? Are you going for the big-eared elf game or are you going to stick with your weak pussy bullshit?
You're a weak little pussy hole. I mean, I think I'll give it a go.
Alright, there we go.
And then I'll drop it off later.
That's what I wanted to hear.
These boots are made for walking, and that's just what she'll do. These boots are gonna walk all over you.
Victoria, I want a new roommate.
You know if I can get that. Okay, so like yeah, elves are cool. I like another sidebar about things that piss me off in fantasy. Dwarves never being able to do magic. Like in Dragon Age 2 it's kind of interesting, but because I'm a petty little bitch and because you can't play as a mage if you're a dwarf, I never play as a dwarf because I have a brand to live up to. But in general, I think it's very interesting and sad that people never consider what, like, dwarves doing some form of magic, like maybe transmutation of their ore. Maybe they like to, maybe dwarves, like, who live not in caves, but, like, near caves, perform more shaman magic. And, you know, like, why isn't Obama talking about the issues? Why are dwarves always beating up elves and elves beating up dwarves?
Well,
Like,
Obama isn't our president anymore.
I don't want to talk about this.
I don't know what Obama can do for us anymore. We're on the Trump train now, and he doesn't care about the real issues. He doesn't care about your elves and your dwarves.
But okay, listen. For real though. What do you think about dwarves with magic and elves with pointy ears? Are my points valid, Belle?
I think that you bring up some good points, just like the elven ears.
Yeah.
But
But what? How are you gonna disrespect me today, Belle?
I'm gonna have to discredit your idea on the grounds that you don't mention why can't there be dwarves.
Well, I mean, I was gonna get to that, but what do you think about dwarves doing sorcerers?
I think that if anything, they would be like very physical magic.
Like transmutation.
Like transmutation, yeah.
I think that would be really useful. Like, maybe general wards, too, and, like, lights for, doing tunnel work. When they build tunnels. Much like Skyrim, the hit, PS5 game. But, like, I feel that. Also, what concept are you bringing up today, Belle? What was that second word you said?
Dwelves.
Yes. Would you explain to the audience what is a dwelf?
It's when an elf and a dwarf love each other very much, and they have furiously kinky fornication rituals, and all of a sudden, out spawns a mixture of the two creatures. And this never happens in fantasy because cop outs, they just don't like each other, so there's no chance of them ever meeting. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Why can't you be short, hairy, and have pointy ears and be good at magic? Is that a fucking Victoria, I want you to get off of top of it. Can I just explain to the audience what is on this screen right now?
No, you're ruining your important sidebar. You're looking at what appears to be Justin Timberlake crying about pizza.
So this is a screen cap of a Twitter post that's on Tumblr by Twitter user Foxler Nightfire at StarFox AceFox.
Are you calling them out?
The post says, "Always be yourself and never let anyone change you. Forever and always furry. Thanks to everyone and the hashtag #altfurry for the support." And on the left, it shows a humanoid in a what is commonly called by the kids as a fursuit in a red tie. And if you look closely on the arm, you will see an armband. It's a red armband with a white circle, but instead of a swastika, it's a paw print. So we have here a Nazi furry being proud of themselves. And then this person reblogged, "How do you become that type of person who's like, I want to be a fuzzy wuzzy bappy husky. Also, I love fascism. Big fascism fan here." So I don't feel safe with this on this screen.
Can you, like, just talk more about the important issues of dwells?
I just want to say that my roommate has compromised any and all feelings of safety I thought I had today.
Listen, it's not like I'm supporting fascism. It's on a blog. Like, it's a horrible little blog.
Let's go into this. Hashtag #altfurry is a pervy excuse for Nazis to keep their faces hidden. If you see an armband, punch that head off and punch their fucking teeth out. Hello, you have declared war on hashtag #altfurry, which by our mutual defense pact, you have now engaged the anime right.
Oh my god.
Bad move.
There's an anime right.
This is like you messed with the wrong fandom, only 9,000 times worse. I don't know how to feel about this.
Why are there fascist animes?
Why are Nazis like okay with being themselves?
Because Nazis are fucking terrifying.
Why do they think that it's just okay to be out and about and they won't get shanked because they will get shanked? I mean, everyone should punch a Nazi. I think that's a slogan that I can get behind.
I don't like fascism.
Just imagine a world where every time a Nazi existed, they got punched.
That's what's like on Mars.
Well, there are 0 Nazis on Mars, and therefore 0 Nazis getting punched, so you are not wrong.
Well, can we continue the sidebar about...
Do you think that there are...
Nazi dwells?
Nazi dwells?
I don't want to answer this question, but in all fantasy, there's that one subsection of Nazis.
You're talking, yeah. I don't think the Dwelves would be Nazis. They're like the antithesis because Nazis are all about keeping
Bloodline
the
pure.
bloodline pure in nationality, and Dwelves they're like the least pure bloodline.
They would be the target of Nazis. Okay, can we just
They
discuss?
Dwelves are the equivalent of Jewish folks. And oh no, we can't upload this now.
Listen, did you know that historically dwarves are basically based on a parody of Jewish traits?
That's terrible.
Think about it. Think
I don't want to think about.
They're always portrayed
this.
with big ass noses, and they're good with money, and they're greedy. Look at me right now and tell me that
I don't want to look you in the eyes.
Fantasy is the worst genre. I hate fantasy.
I would like to clarify.
Also, orcs tend to be considered like
a stereotype of
anti-black because they're always like the savages and they've got the big lips.
You're ruining fantasy for me.
Good.
I'd like to clarify. I'm not anti-Semitic.
You sound defensive about this.
Well, I feel bad for making that joke about comparing Dwelves to the Jewish folks during the Holocaust. I feel like that could come across as offensive.
That's true.
I'm just apologizing for it. I don't think the Holocaust is something normally to be joked about. Nor do I think that one should make fun of a particular subset of people for either race or religion.
I'm genuinely happy that you said this because that's true, and it makes me happy that you apologize and that I apologize for this. We didn't really plan for it to go down this path. Can we just talk about dwells so that everything's okay?
I think dwells are pretty neat.
Okay, but when we get into the discussion of why dwarves can't do magic, they do more transmutation, or why elves don't have pussy ass ears,
Would dwelves do magic?
Dwelves could definitely do magic. I mean, it would depend on the dwarves themselves, if they're raised with more magical, fun families.
Do dwelves have pussy ass ears?
Depends on the combination of genes. Now, here's the fun fact. Much like my fingerprints, no two dwells are the same because their genetics are different. So I'm sure you can get one with shit ton of facial hair and littler ears, and one that has the grungy boy beards where they try to grow their little stashes out but they can't get anything, and then their ears could be the size of their foot.
Okay.
You get that aesthetic going?
Yeah, I have another question for you though.
What?
Do Dwelven males do they lactate?
What? I don't know, Belle. Why don't you take it up with God? Do they?
Okay, I'm asking God right now. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Do dwelves lactate? Males, females, and all the intersex dwelven folks.
Thank you, daughter, for talking with me today. I have an announcement. The dwelves lactate.
So that's what
The voice of God sounds like, wow.
That's what God has to say on the subject.
God
All
sounds-
12
God sounds-
lactate.
God sounds really hot. I bet he's a smoker. I think orcs should do more magic too in fantasy.
That's true.
Orcs are really cool.
Would you? Never mind.
We've been through this.
I don't know. Is this an appropriate subject?
Probably not. I mean, I don't know. Listeners, would you take an orc on a romantic date into the swamp?
And then would you proceed to do the things that people do after a romantic date with that orc?
I would.
I think I would too, if she was nice enough, and I liked the size of her dong.
I mean, I would if they were nice and they looked okay.
Okay.
I'm trying to think. How about orc elves? That's another vein that I personally should tap into.
That is a
more.
very untapped vein.
I've-
Although you have one orc elf character.
Are we gonna talk about my original characters on my professional podcast?
I don't want to talk about that one because
Why?
I share a name with it, and I'm not comfortable.
That
with
was an accident. We'll just call them Basil.
Okay.
So, okay, but like, for real, there's very specific, like, only in Skyrim, and we only see it very briefly, do you get, like, interactions between, like, orcs and, like, elves. So, it's like, how would they get along based on the setting? Now, for other fantasies like Tolkien's bullshit JJR pussy elves, we only get the orcs are all evil. And which is interesting in that one because orcs are actually descendants of elves.
Are they really?
Yes, the orcs are considered the fallen elves. They're basically just corrupted elves. That's why they have pointy ears.
Okay.
Now, in Skyrim, interesting enough, they too were elves who worked for Malakath, I believe.
And then Malakath was like, here, have my bloodline. And then they were like, fuck yeah.
And then they became a separate species, but they too were descendants of, like, high elves, I believe. Which is...
Why aren't they more magical, then?
That's a very interesting question. I think it was because the Daedric that they worshipped was more physical. Like, tended to prefer physical prowess. So they followed Malakath's code. I believe it was Malakath.
Okay.
Which is very interesting because that's two different fantasy things where you do see them interact. But usually it's not outside of that.
Okay. Here's a good subject. Let's spitball and just I'll come up with a D&D character and then you come up with one.
And then we like rank them like good character, bad character?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm going to start out with an alignment for mine first. Probably like chaotic bad to chaotic neutral.
So chaotic evil. There's no chaotic bad. You're not.
Yeah, chaotic evil.
Okay.
Yeah, or like maybe chaotic neutral.
Okay.
Name is Randall.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Randall.
He's a little roguey scamp.
Okay. He's a little jackass.
Yeah, he likes to be kind of naked. He wears a chest piece and underwear. But other than that, he's kind of naked.
Okay.
And he just kind of carries around a rusty sword.
Okay.
Now here's the kicker.
He's not good at sneaking.
No, he's okay at sneaking. His strong suit is trap setting, actually. But here's the kicker. He's a kobold elf halfling.
Kobold?
He's a kobold and an elf.
What's a kobold?
Those little like lizard dog things. They're real dumb and they live underground and they're all evil.
Oh, okay. And it's kobold elf.
Yeah, somehow an elf found a kobold, and found a way to breed with it. There wasn't really any seduction going on because the kobold was just very pissed.
What?
It was like hate fucking.
I go down to the pit to find my true love, which is a little angry ferret lizard.
And then Randall was born, and they tried to eat him, but he didn't taste good. So he lucked out there.
This is the most tragic backstory I've ever heard in my entire life.
He's very stupid, but to the kobolds, he was like the god of intellect.
Do they worship Randall as their god?
No, but they think that Randall is the closest
He's
to
Jesus.
their god.
So he's Jesus, basically.
Kind of. He's kind of Jesus.
I'm kind of getting into it. Is Randall's not a nice dude, is he?
Randall doesn't try to be mean, but
He just likes.
he was brought up to be, pillage your village, loot everything, take no prisoners. That's just normal to him.
Okay.
He's gotta. He's not very smart. That's what he knows.
That's very interesting. And I kind of like the lizard. The deadbeat elf parent who's like, and then leaves.
Well, they couldn't stay long.
I mean, true, but like, why? Why did they do this?
They really wanted to see what sex with a kobold was like. A lot kinkier than they imagined.
Good.
And I don't mean like kinky isn't like fetishy. I mean like their back really hurt.
This actually brings up an interesting sidebar. I would like to greenlight your character first, because it's very interesting.
Yeah, you support Randall?
I support Randall 2K17.
I'll have to look up the exact features of like kobolds and elves in D&D and try and give a nice like just chimera mashup of it. Oh, it'll be awful.
Because the interesting thing in Skyrim is what you bring up is how different are the species and the races. Because in Skyrim, elves can have children with humans, as evidenced by Britons existing. However, it's very common for them to have miscarriages, I believe, and it's very hard to conceive. Now, I may be talking on my ass, but I remember reading this like 5 years ago. This brings up an interesting point. How high is the conception rate on this creature?
100%. Not because like they're all birthed. Randall is the only attempt. No other elf was fucking stupid enough to try and fuck a kobold.
Well, that's beautiful. And I hope Randall has a good life, but doesn't kill me.
Randall has a terrible life.
Can he have a not terrible life?
Randall's ugly as shit. No one likes Randall.
I mean, okay, Randall.
Randall doesn't even actually have a party. Randall just follows people around and tries to steal their stuff.
He's the hidden party member you gotta unlock after the campaign.
Exactly. After you beat the game on New Game Plus, you unlock Randall, and he is the most disappointing unlock ever.
Oh my god, I wanna piss. I feel a little boring now. What kind of creation can I create? What sort of den the character? Well, let's try to go for what's the cube up on the corner up here? Lawful something? Lawful?
Yeah, it's like lawful good, neutral good, chaotic good.
Let's go for, and then there's lawful neutral, right?
Yeah, and then there's true neutral.
Yeah. Okay, let's try and go for let's go with maybe lawful good or lawful neutral. We have this individual named Jax. Jax is, what class would Jax be? Jax is an alchemist. Jax likes to make those potions that make everything bigger and tinier, and then likes to poison people. Jax worked as an apothecary, and he got kicked out for siphoning some of the goods.
Oh.
Making that good juice.
Ooh, baby.
I wasn't going to gender them, but it looks like I accidentally said he. This person is not a he. PSA. Jax likes long walks on the beach, collecting illegal clams, and looking at fish. Now, you're probably asking yourself, well, who is Jax? And It's a very good question because no one knows who Jax is.
Does Jax know who Jax is?
No, Jax wears like a bandana around their face constantly, and like these really creepy Freddy Krueger fingers that no one understands why, because then they can't even make their potions. So no one really understands Jax.
So Jax can't even make potions?
Jax can make potions, but no one knows how. They don't speak common either.
Well, what does Jax speak?
German.
And what was Jax's moral alignment again?
Lawful good, lawful neutral.
I think it's he can't be lawful. Or they can't be lawful if they're stealing. They're stealing.
My city now.
Okay.
Shut the fuck up.
Okay.
Now, the fun thing about Jax that no one really fully realizes is that Jax is cool.
I don't think that somebody can be considered cool if nobody else realizes it and they just kind of think they are. I think that's the exact opposite of what cool is.
I think Jax... No one knows Jax's true identity. Because Jax is good at magical transformation. So no one really knows what species they are. But I do. Do you want to know what species Jax is?
I'm kind of scared.
You should be. You should be very frightened.
What is Jax?
A nice little demon, tiefling.
Oh.
Had a nice, gentle love life with a dwarf, and then they had this child, and then they left it.
So there's like a little bit of everything in there.
There's a little bit of soul juice in there.
Soul juice? So it's like this little hairy, very pointy-eared...
No, Jax is fucking ripped. Jax is like 6 feet tall.
Jax is fucking ripped. Jax can do anything. If Jax is so ripped, then why did they become an alchemist?
Why did that librarian in the College of Winterfold, that orc, become a librarian instead of following in his father's footsteps and becoming a chieftain, Belle?
Passion.
That's right, Jax is full of passion.
Full of passion for potions and ingredients.
Jax is 6 feet tall, has a Satan tail, and demon hooves, and they cover their face, and then they clop around, and then they run into people.
Wait, how much of a demon is Jax?
Well, tieflings have fucking feet that look like hooves.
Do they? I thought they had normal feet.
I thought they had...
Tieflings are only like 1% demon.
I've been drawing your D&D character wrong, then, I think.
I mean, I'm fine with Altana having hooves, I guess, but then...
Tieflings are like diet demons, and they need to be more.
I mean, I agree. I think if Altana could, she would find a way to, like, siphon demon blood.
And just drink it. Well, we're not talking about your D&D character. We need the green light Jax or not.
I think Jax has a place with Randall.
Do they just follow people around and steal their shit?
No, Randall follows Jax around and tries to murder him several times.
Jax, like...
Tries to murder them. I'm sorry, Jax. I keep misgendering you.
I did it too. The fun thing about when Randall tries to murder Jax is that every time Jax catches him and, like, doesn't, like, do the solid Christian thing and, like, put Jax out of his misery, or Randall out of his misery, he just looks at him, and then he peels off some scales and uses it in an alchemical potion and walks away.
Is Randall just so pathetic that Jax doesn't even realize there has been an attempt on their life?
Exactly. Randall's not good at this whole, like, murdering this weird little, alchemical.
That's because Jax is probably too smart for all of Randall's sneaky little traps.
Randall is in awe of Jax. Jax once did a line. They're lawful good, by the way.
I don't. Jax sounds like more of like a chaotic good to me.
My city now. No rules, only right. I'm the DM. Greenlight my character or not.
I do.
Good.
Jax seems like a fun big scamp.
Good.
Can Jax and Randall
Fornicate? No.
That's not what I was gonna ask. Randall is a virgin. Except for that one time with his mom, but
What? Excuse you?
Randall had a weird childhood.
Is Randall okay?
Randall thinks that he's okay.
Did you name him Randall after the Monsters Inc. purple gecko?
No, but I wish I did.
Oh, burn, bitch. What's next
Kobolds are ugly. How's that gonna mix with an elf?
Just like, what do kobolds even look like?
They're like little dog lizard people.
You have like an elf face with like a snout maybe, and then like
God,
and like
Randall's fucking terrifying. Even the kobolds.
And like crawl around on all fours or whatever.
No, kobolds walk upright.
Dog ears, lizard tail.
I don't actually know exactly what they look like now. I think they're just like little lizard people.
You know what?
What?
Randall only looks like a kobold. No one can tell he's an elf except for the ears. He just has these big ass ears.
He just has like huge ears and he's like a little smarter than the regular kobolds.
Yeah.
He's still not very smart. That's why he's not doing so well as like a little bandit.
Yeah. What else? What else should we talk about?
Does Jax ever talk to Randall?
Jax speaks to Randall when he realizes another attempt on on their life has been made. When he realizes Jax has made another attempt, he looks at him and tries to talk to him and ask him why, and all Randall does is then Jax just kind of gives up and leaves after taking his materials.
Randall tries to stab him again and says that he wants the money.
Jax backhands him and leaves.
Randall's sword is... It's not very sharp. It's
Just like his mind.
correct.
I think if done enough times, Jax would probably just tie him up and then like drag him around and just start peeling scales off for alchemical reasons.
Randall would be pissed. But at the same time, he wouldn't be traumatized because...
Because his conception was traumatic?
I mean, he's had worse.
I mean, this is a lawful good character. I
really don't think
lawful good.
Jax makes it as a lawful good.
He thinks Jax thinks that they're lawful good, but they're not. They're actually lawful evil.
I don't think that's quite accurate either. I don't think they're lawful.
No, they're lawful. Shut the fuck
They're like
up.
chaotic neutral or like chaotic good.
No, they have their own beat. They march their own rule, bitch. Okay, so let's talk more.
Oh shit! Are we still recording?
Hopefully.
Yeah, boy.
So, okay, fun thing about fantasy. Let's list off all the fantasy races that are, like, common. And I'm gonna go first.
You're gonna go first?
Mm-hmm. So we have humans, elves, which will include any type of sub-elf, dwarves, orcs, halflings or hobbits generally seem to be the same thing. Goblins, tieflings, or like anything based around demons.
So that'd be like the Daedra.
Yeah, Skyrim. Furries, so like lizard,
The lizard people and the cat people.
or like any sort of animal sub people.
So basically like beastmen.
Yeah, and then let's see what else. There's got to be more. There's like giants,
Yep.
just big humans. Gnomes are another one that's like underrated. Gnomes.
Oh yeah, I always forget about gnomes.
I was thinking about the little garden gnomes. That,
Aren't gnomes just kind of like diet magic dwarves?
Gnomes are like diet magic dwarves, but also like not green goblins. What else do we have? I would say that. Okay, so that would conclude my list, but I was gonna put like undead and like vampires, but that's more of like a subcategory of an individual race.
Can I talk back about Randall for a second?
Yeah.
Randall's only friend is a it's a goblin's head that he found.
Does he consult it for advice?
Yes.
Does it give him advice?
He thinks it does.
Randall needs to see his local psychiatrist so that he can talk to someone about all the shit he's been through.
Randall doesn't think he's been through anything bad.
Well, I do, and I'm right.
I mean, you definitely are. But yeah, Randall met this goblin head. He was scurrying along looking for his next mark, and it just kind of landed next to him. And he looked around and he saw a paladin in very shiny armor and a dead goblin. And he thought that the goblin came to warn him. So it's the one thing he decided not to hate.
You're just freeballing this right now, aren't you?
Listen, that goblin head is Randall's best friend.
That's good. Thank you for this good world building. List off your list of character race or species in fantasy. Also, the Canary from Dragon Age 2 would fall under demons, so don't shank me.
I don't really. You listed all the goods. I mean, you got the little Moogles from Final Fantasy.
True. There's always that weird
fish people.
Mermaids, fish people, oh baby, snake people.
That's true.
Call me up, snake babes.
Centaurs.
That's true. Any sort of, quote-unquote monster.
Yeah. Why the fuck doesn't... Why can't I be a snake person?
That's my mood every day.
Why can't I just eat bark?
Because you're
And
human.
live off of it? I want to eat bark.
Now, interesting. What are some other, like, untapped things in fantasy? What if elves were more interesting like they are in Skyrim?
What if the undead weren't so mindless?
Yeah, they had, like, sentience.
Yeah.
I think it would be interesting if, like, what if you had, like, a culture that was, like, didn't view being undead as bad, like, it was another rite of passage, like, after you died, you turned grandmama into a zombie and she lived on? and they still retain sentience.
Like, there's just this village of zombies, and
Yeah.
it's like they've somehow discovered the secret to, like, becoming undead, but also still being smart and, like, good.
They still need flesh because they're like it's like constant body maintenance, but like it's a second path in life,
Right.
and they're just like continuing on their way, just moseying along.
They're not trying to be evil, it's just they need bodies.
Now, do they have to eat brains? They need some sort of sustenance to keep going, but
they don't necessarily need to eat human flesh, though, do they?
they just need to eat flesh in general, and they need to sustain their body with some sort of magical flesh spell.
Do you think they, like, farm, like, goblins or something, then?
Don't goblins have sentience?
Well, yeah. But low levels of sentience, and people kill them all the time.
You compared me to a goblin the other day, so now I think we need to really dig into this vein. Like, okay, are you saying... What are you implying, Belle, about me?
Well, we already know that I want to kill you.
I mean, yeah, but what are you implying about my intelligence?
I think you're kind of a goblin in the way you carry yourself.
That's the worst thing anyone's ever said to me.
But I think you're at least as smart as, like a goblin shaman.
Burn in hell.
So as far as goblins go, you're a fucking genius.
I hate it.
And you're, like, smarter than, like, the average person, at least, probably.
Stop carving a vagina out of my big box.
I'm not carving a vagina out of the cock box.
Moving on, as Belle slanders me and compares me to a goblin. I know they would probably just, like... They would be, like, professional grave robbers, like... Maybe they'd have a culture where, like, after you die, you, like... I don't know. They would steal bodies from graves and, like, only steal it from, like, certain graves that have consented. Like,
what graves are they getting them from if they're all alive?
Now, you see, this is the fun part.
What fun part?
Perhaps the society could either have people who wanted to stay dead or continue living.
But if they were taught that it was the proper thing to continue living, there wouldn't be a lot of people wanting to stay dead.
That's true. Now, this is the fun part. They, perhaps they would use, like, animal flesh and stay alive and just eat it.
Yeah, they could eat animal flesh, or they could, farm goblins.
Or they could just grave rob.
What if they, like, farmed, like, kobolds?
What if they farm, like, synthetic flesh?
They just have, like, a wall of flesh that's constantly regenerating and growing.
Yeah.
They, like, make sacrifices to it.
They don't need to sacrifice to it. It's just, like, they found
like goats.
Yeah, perhaps they made a pact with a demon so that they could continue living. And so the demon granted them the wish of having the organs that they needed, and they could harvest them. Gave them the power to harvest these organs.
What does the demon get?
The demon gets to watch over these individuals, and they worship the demon, and they spread the gospel, perhaps, or they just sacrifice, like, goats. But if people, like, are slandering the demon, they, like destroying temples or whatever, they, like, stop the temple destruction.
Okay.
It's like their job as people is to continue the legend of this demon. Basically, because the demon was unknown, but now the demon is on the radar.
Okay, so it's like, this demon is like, this is a nice publicity stunt.
Yeah, let's let these people continue to regenerate with these flesh balls.
Okay.
Also, I patent this, so if anyone reads this and fucking steals it, I'll fucking shank you.
What the fuck are you gonna do with this idea?
I've already had this idea for a while.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do with it?
It's mine.
What?
Why sitting down?
Okay, it's yours, but what are you gonna do with it?
Make characters in a little comic.
Are you gonna publish that comic?
Who knows? This is mine.
It doesn't seem like you're too, like, prone to doing anything with this idea.
Listen, I'm a freshman in college. What do you want from me?
I want you to do something with your life.
I don't have anything. I just want to have fun.
You could go eat tree bark with me.
So what do you think of my idea that, like, this culture where undead is just a second path?
I like it. I'd do that.
Yeah.
I don't want to fucking die.
I think once the body like fully like degenerates, if like then it's like true death, but their soul passes on. It's not like they're ever dead. They believe in spirituality.
I feel like, but if they have that pact with the demon, it wouldn't degrade.
That's true. Their bodies may not degrade. So are they immortal? True question.
I think so. I think like you live your life as a human, and then like you die, and it's like, hey, welcome to immortality.
I think they're more like they can choose to be immortal. They have this choice. They can die.
If
But
they don't worship the demon, they will.
Yeah. Now, fun fact. They're just like vampires except rotting.
But the demon helps them not rot, so they have to like make sacrifices to it. Are these human sacrifices?
No, we've been through this. This is more like just mundane animal sacrifices and more like
And I know they spread the gospel.
yeah.
You know, book of Stan.
Demon's name is not Stan.
Why isn't the demon's name Stan?
Demon's name is Corpus.
But can Corpus have a demon friend named Stan?
I guess.
I want Randall to meet Stan. And I want Stan to, like, convince Randall to work for him. So it's Randall and Stan.
Randall and, like, an entire advanced civilization of, like, undead zombies.
Randall isn't included in the undead. Randall's just with Corpus's demon friend Stan.
How about, like, they make Randall farm the undead flesh mall?
Randall would hate that.
Good.
I think Randall pulls a prank on Corpus.
What's the prank?
He gosh. Randall pees in the temple. He pisses on the candle flames and puts them out.
Okay.
And Corpus gets real pissed.
What does Corpus do?
I think Corpus
Just kills him right there.
I don't know if he kills him. I think Corpus. That's why Randall has to tend the flesh wall.
That's his punishment forever?
Yeah. It's his punishment for 666 years.
I hate you.
During this time, Randall is immortal, and Randall becomes smarter. And then, for some reason, Jax is still alive.
Jax is like watching Randall do the flesh wall.
Is Jax undead now?
Jax is probably a tiefling elf dwarf. They live for thousands of years, Belle.
They do not!
Yeah, they do.
Tieflings have a human lifespan, plus a few years.
Listen, elves and dwarves live for a monstrous amount of time.
That's true, but does it, like, just stack on top of each other, or does it average out?
It probably averages out, but I think they're still alive.
No, not after 666 years.
Shut the fuck up.
I think Jax is a zombie now.
Jax is like a...
Unless Jax has discovered the alchemical
Yes,
secret
Jax...
to life.
Probably, honestly. Let's be real. Jax has, like, the, sorcerer's elixir.
Randall tries to read Jax's books, but then he ends up eating some of the pages.
Jax beats the shit out of him for it. And makes him cough it up.
Randall tries to stab Jax.
When doesn't he try to stab him?
When he's eating his books.
Listen.
I love Randall.
I have mixed... Randall... Randall is Randall.
I think Randall's real good.
You know what else I think is good?
That the Goblin Uprising is upon us.
I'm talking about... Orcs and elves are good.
That's true. Do you think orcs and elves ever fuck?
I mean, absolutely. It needs to be considered more.
That's true. Victoria, we've been talking for a very long time.
Bill, will you describe what's on the screen right now?
It's an iguana being very happy to get pet.
It's a good boy. What are you trying to imply? Should we go eat?
I do want to eat. My tumbly's getting the rumblies.
I haven't slept.
And you can't eat bark on an empty stomach.
I've fucking been awake, and all I've wanted to do is go back to sleep.
I haven't gone to bed.
I know.
I'm exhausted.
You're gonna fucking die.
I might eat and take a power nap. I'm gonna take a power nap before I go look for bark.
Well, I hope. What did we even start talking about? Was it elf ears and then?
Yeah, it was elf ears.
Okay. So not too off topic.
Yeah.
Also, formal PSA. I'm really sorry about the dwarf analogy earlier.
It wasn't meant to offend anybody, but dwarves at the very least
Are definitely anti-Semitic tropes.
And I didn't realize this until you pointed it out.
It's very fun to look at fantasy and realize how shitty it is, I think.
And I didn't mean to make any anti-Semitic comments when I claimed that the Dwelves were the equivalent of the Jewish folks during the Holocaust. That was not my intention. It was.
I get what you're.
They would be heavily persecuted, I feel.
That was your analogy, which I mean makes sense. I feel, in the sense, but it's not the same thing.
No, it's not.
Because one's real and one's fictional.
And so we just want to apologize in case we may have hurt or upset anybody.
Because we are dinguses.
We are human. We try to be good ones. I hope you all enjoyed listening.
I hope you got something out of this. Also, I patented all these ideas in here, so if you steal them, I'll inhale you, Richard.
Front door. Listen. It's okay if someone else does it too.
No, it's not.
Why?
Because I did it first.
But other people can also do it.
No. They'll steal my credit.
Patents only last for so long. Or at least they were supposed to until Walt Disney fucked everything up. But that's a topic for another day.
Yeah, that is a topic for another day.
We will see all of you lovely folks later. Except we won't see you. You'll just listen to the voice box.
Bye.
Bye!